It's days like today where I love what I do, where I love myself, and I appreciate God for allowing me this space because I feel like it was just poetry in motion. I mean, like literally getting an opportunity to speak with guys on a topic that I feel well versed in is, it really is a treat. It really is. And I even text my wife afterwards and was like, look, you're gonna love this video, this creation that I've made. And I think you're gonna see a different side of me. And I'm super excited. Super excited. Before I get too off kilter, I'm gonna show you around the studio really quick to this setup. The last time that I did this, I had 8 people in this space. And I gotta be honest with you, my wife was like, dude, this is a little space. I don't know if 8 people are gonna fit in there. And I was like, yeah, they are, we'll see. But after having those 8 people in, like this space, you can't really see it right now, but I know now that I probably need to have a lot less people in here because I just have a lot more creative freedom. So yeah, I wanna show you around just so you can kind of feel the vibe a little bit. So if you'll notice, I have 4 chairs this time. These 4 chairs are, for the 4 guests that are coming on. And, I've reached out to some people that I know, a couple that I work with, and then 1 or 2 who I go to church with. And, that was the easiest way, I think, for me to ensure that I had, the people that I needed for this panel. Oh my goodness, see the camera is going crazy right now. I got you. To make sure that I had the people that I needed for this panel. These panel discussions are really good because, and I'm not talking about my panel discussions, I'm just talking about in general. I think panel discussions are really good because you get to hear a lot of different perspectives all at once. Thankfully in this panel, it was all people who kind of had similar lifestyles. Everyone who I invited on today was a creative in some capacity. And either they created their own business in some kind of way, or they are full-on entrepreneurs. I think they all kind of had the same vibe. They were all super chill, and they were all the same age. We're all the same age, and I just felt like everything was going to work out really well, and I think it did. And I'm super proud of this moment because, look, like having a studio or trying to rent a studio is difficult. I'm setting up the camera right now, so give me just a second. It's really difficult because, this stuff it's not free. You know what I mean? And when you do bring people in, you want to make sure that it's the right people who know how to have a conversation. You want to make sure that it's people who, can actually speak on the topic. And you want to ensure that it's folks who are, really going to represent the cause, represent the topic. And man, I think God helped me this time because man, it was perfect. It was like poetry in motion. I figured the only way that this opportunity to be messed up is probably just because of me, because, the funny thing is I got all of this stuff in here, like honestly, the gimbal and the FX30, the A7 III right there, these little lights. Thankfully I got the lights right. And then I got a crap ton of other stuff that I brought just to ensure that I'm like on point with what I'm doing. But to be honest with you, I don't know how to use any of it. Like, I am not a professional. I literally, years ago, I picked up a camera once, just randomly on a whim. I was sitting with my girlfriend at the time. And I'm sitting right there and I'm like looking on Craigslist and I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I could buy this camera, and I was watching, actually before I even got here, I was watching somebody on TV with a camera, and I got on my phone and started looking up something that sparked interest in me, and I was looking it up. I was looking up cameras, I was looking at people's work, and I was like, I could do that. I could do that if I wanted to. It was like, I love pictures. I love taking pictures. I love telling stories. That's what I do. Long story short, I looked on Craigslist. I saw somebody with a $250 Canon T3 is what it was. Yeah, it was a Canon Rebel T3 or something like that. Went out there and bought that camera. The next week, I had a gig that paid me like $150 to take pictures, and it was a Hispanic cleaning company, and they were at the park. It was like 30 of them, and they were like, look, we're gonna pay you this money, take the pictures, do your thing. They even gave me and my wife food after that. It was cool. But I say all of that to say, sometimes you just have to do it. Like, you just have to really go out here and do the thing that you're stuck planning, do the thing that you're, dreaming about. Because if you don't, you'll talk yourself out of it. Like, and I've done it so many times, man, where I actually need to start cleaning this stuff up. So y'all gonna have to stick with me. Yeah, I've done it so many times where I'm like literally talking myself out of every single opportunity because I'm afraid. You know what I'm saying? I'm afraid to jump off. First of all, jump off the ledge. I'm afraid that I might fail. There's that. But then also, it doesn't even have to be that serious. Sometimes I'm afraid because I feel like I'm deficient. I don't have what I need, to make the thing work. And it's tough to deal with sometimes, and I come from an environment where a lot of people don't. I need to look at y'all for this. I come from an environment where a lot of people don't succeed. They don't. And when they don't succeed, people make fun of them. People act like they were a joke. And in my head, I always have, I don't know what this is, but I always have the feeling that, I'm not good enough. And I don't know if that's the culture that I come from. I don't know if that's a city that I was born and raised in. I don't know if it was the family dynamic that I was raised in, or, brothers and sisters and mom and dad. I don't know where this came from, but it's something I'm starting to recognize, and I definitely want to deal with it. Just that feeling of not being adequate. Like, I feel inadequate. I feel like my skills aren't good enough. So I understand that. But the truth is, the moment you get started, the moment you jump in, I know you want to plan everything out, and I know you want everything to line up. You want all your ducks in a row, but dog, sometimes you got to build while you're flying, and that's. You gotta build while you're falling, man, out the sky. You gotta do it. I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the right saying, but I think there's some truth to it. Because when I spent the money to buy all of this stuff, I had nothing but a vision. And that vision I wrote down in notebooks, and I tried to put it all together. And guess what? I spent months and even years, trying to figure out what I was gonna do. And had I known all I needed to do was just start, then I think I'd be much further along. Maybe you too, I don't know. Experience life, because when you get old and you can't move, you can't function in the same way as you used to, guess what? You're not gonna be able to do any of those things anymore. And then what? Are you gonna be old talking about what you wish you would have done, what you wish you would have tried? I think that's where I'm at right now, I'm sick of being so worried about not doing the right thing. I'm sick of being afraid to fail, And the more I think about it, the more it makes me want to just do better. I want to try. I want to give myself a shot, to just be whatever it is that I dream of, whatever it is that I dreamt of. I got to give myself a chance. I got to try it, and that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. And I think eventually I'll learn how to use these lights. Eventually I'll learn how to use these cameras. Eventually I'll learn how to hold the gimbal correctly. I'll learn how to conversate with my guests. I'll learn how to make them feel welcome. I'll learn how to promote, and eventually when I'm old, when I'm near the end, I'll look back and say, you failed and you succeeded. I'll look back and be able to say, I tried my best. I'll look back and, hey, who knows? I might be able to say, I'm super successful. I inspire people to do what I'm doing and to go even further than I have. Maybe I inspire my son and my daughter. Maybe my wife looked at me and said, dang, you're the man, wife. You say that, it's okay. You don't gotta say that. If you don't want to, you don't gotta say that. You can say something else. Say I'm cool. Say I'm a cool guy. How about that? You're never gonna have it all together. All you need is what you have. Believe me, all you need is what you have. Get out here, put something together, and go shoot it. Even if you're not into videography or you're not making a YouTube channel, even if you're not, it doesn't matter what it is you're doing. Somewhere out there, there's somebody waiting in quiet desperation, trying their best to get the will to create something. And that person might be you. And if it is, I'm gonna tell you like this. When you look back 50 years from now, at this very moment, while you're watching this video, and while you're liking and subscribing and commenting and sharing and resharing, and then resharing again, you're gonna look back here at this moment and you're gonna say, that was the moment that I decided I was gonna give effort. And then guess what? The rest doesn't even matter. At least that's my take. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I'm a follower of Christ. And everything that I do, I feel is inspired by Christ. And everything that I want to do in the future, I feel has to be ordained and spoken of by God before I put my hands to it. And I hope that through these videos, you'll be able to at least get to this part. I know most of y'all don't stay on here anyway to get to this last little segment. But if you don't believe in Christ or if you don't know Christ, I want you to do some research. I want you to dive in. I want you to find something that you can connect with. And hey, if it's not Christ, I think Christ will forgive you for that and will understand that. I think Christ will understand that. But believe in something bigger than you. Believe in something bigger than you. And I think when you approach life in that way, you open the door to the greatest peace that there is. Because it doesn't matter really what you do. As long as you put effort into it, as long as you try your best, then eventually things will start to appear to you and things will come alive. They really will. For me, I sought Christ and Christ found me. He sought me. He sought me a lot more than I saw him. And when I learned about Christ and when I opened up my spirit to Christ, things started to change. My perspective, even if my finances didn't change, even if the things around me didn't change, I changed on the inside. And I can't even begin to explain the peace that I feel, because I don't think it's a regular thing. And if you found it, hey, that's cool. If you found it without Christ, hey, power to you. But for me, it's always been Jesus. And I think he's more than enough. So whatever you do, whatever you go after, I think you need to seek more than just fame, seek more than attention, seek change, seek opportunities to help people do something, seek service, seek service. And hey, the rest is history.